Hello students, in today's session we will discuss tie members. Tie members are the members which carries tension in its axial direction. So in the previous sessions we have discussed how to calculate tensile capacity of any tension member. To calculate tensile capacity we have to check three of the different modes of failure. First mode of failure is yielding of gross section. Second mode of failure is rupture of net section. And the third or last one mode of failure is block shear failure. With the help of these three modes of failure, we can find a tensile capacity of any section we are using as a tensile member. Now, in this question, what new thing which we gonna learn is, if we take an angle section, now it is not a single angle section, but we are using two angle sections back to back. Let me explain you what is back to back. If it is an angle section and if I placed it like this, if there are two angle sections and if I am connecting them like this, where one is connected on one side or first side and second angle is connected on second side. Okay, if we made such a combination of our angles, two angles, and find a tensile capacity of it, what will be a tensile capacity is, and how to calculate that is what we gonna learn in this session. Now second part of our session, or I can take one another lecture on it, where I'm gonna connect angle sections like this. If this is your gusset plate and I'm connecting both of the angle sections on one side, it means that angle sections are connected on only one side of your gusset plate, on the one side of your gusset plate. Whereas in the previous diagram what I did, I have connected angle sections on two different sides. I have connected angle sections on two different sides like this. Okay, so you have two different ways to connect the angles. The very first way is this, in which you connecting angles on the either side of your gusset plate, whereas in the second connection you have connected angle on one side, only on one side or first side of your section. Now you must be thinking that, ma'am, if you are connecting angles on one side, what this middle plate is. If this is the gusset plate, if this one is the gusset plate, what this plate stands for? So this plate is just maintaining a gap, and we can call it as a spacer. We can call it as a spacer between those two angles that is used to maintain certain space between two angles. Okay, so gusset plate was at bottom and you have connected angles like this, and this is the spacer which is middle plate, and you connect bolt over here. But particularly I am mentioning it again, this one is your gusset plate. The hash region is showing us a gusset plate. Therefore I am saying the angles are connected on the one side of your gusset plate, whereas in the second or the previous section, previous diagram, I have told you this is the gusset plate, this one is your gusset plate, and you are connecting angles on its two sides, Now next is finding a tensile capacity of this combination. if I connect angles on either side of gusset plate or on same side of gusset plate, what will be a tensile capacity of that tensile member? That we gonna find it out. Okay, so let's start with the reading the question. Question says a tie member in a bracing system consists of two angles. Angles size is 75 by 75 by 6 mm, and it is bolted to a 10 mm gusset, one on each side. One on each side means what? One on this side, one another on this side. Okay. And if we do such a arrangement, one on each side, using single row of bolts and tack bolted. Now the question is, what is tack bolted? So listen, tack bolts are the extra bolts you place to connect or to combine two members. I can't say connect in a particular way. I can say it as a to combine. Why I am saying combine? Because see, we are using two angle sections. And for connecting it, we can use a regular bolt, and for that we can take a size, pitch distance and edge distance. We can calculate a size of bolt, we can decide or we choose, and then we will calculate its capacity to resist the tensile force. The next thing is to calculate pitch distance and edge distance. That is what we do with the regular procedure to connect one member with another member. But when I am saying there is a tack bolt are not carrying any force. The purpose of placing tack bolt in your structure is to connect or to combine two different members. Why we need to use that? Because here we are using two angles, and these two angles need to be combined. And to combine those two angles, we required a tack bolts at particular distance. Tack bolt, we have a clause in your IS code on page number 10.4. Not on page number, in the clause number 10.4.2. You can read there. Now I hope you understood what is tack bolts are. Tack bolts never carry any loads, but they are placed to combine two different sections to each other, right? And to act it as a single member. When you using two different sections for your designing purpose, to make it behave as a one member, we are using a tack bolts. Fine. So they said we are using two angles of size 75 by 75 by 6 mm, and these two angles are, we can say, equal length angle or equal leg angle, equal length of leg angle. Okay, equal length angle. And we are using 10 mm gusset plate for this connection. Now they asked us to determine tensile capacity of the member and the number of bolts required. As well, they ask number of bolts required to develop full capacity of the member. Now I have added one more thing into it. In this question we can study one where we connect the angles on the two sides or each side of your gusset plate. This is your gusset plate, and we will try to find out tensile capacity of this combination. Okay, and in next lecture we will discuss if we connect the angles on same side, if we connect the angle on same side like this, what will be a tensile capacity of your this type of structure? Okay. So in the today's session we will discussing, or we are finding solution for what? Two angles connected to opposite sides of a gusset as shown in a figure. The figure is shown over here. So since I have drawn this diagram many times, you can understand that this one is the middle part is your gusset plate, and you have two angles of 75 by 70 by 6 dimension, and the gusset plate has a thickness of 10 mm. This is what you see in a section. Now if you want to see in a plane, in plan how it will look, you have gusset plate of a thickness 10 mm like this, which is extending in the backward direction. If I extend it in a backward direction, and you have this angle connected to it, you have this angle connected to it like this. Okay, and if you are connected angle with the gusset plate, you can see bolts on this face. You can see bolts on this face. This, and if we see in a plan, we can observe that this is your gusset plate. This gusset plate is connected with the angle, and this angle is bolted with some bolts. How many bolts required, that we have to calculate, and that we will see in the next part. Okay, now first thing is to calculate TDG. The first mode of failure is, as they ask us a tensile capacity, the very first mode of failure is, we discussed earlier as well, that yielding of gross section. And for formula to find the yielding of gross section is TDG is equals to gross area of a section we used into Fy, yielding stress of that section, divided by gamma m0, partial safety factor for yielding. Let's put the values in this formula. Before that, as I have told you many times that for steel designing we required two things. First is IS 800 2000, and second important thing we required is steel table. In the steel table we have all the details of various sections we use in designing. I am repeating it. In the steel table we have all the details of various sections we use in designing. They have mentioned or enlisted each and every section with its detailed dimensions, as you can see in the next diagram. To make you understand how they enlisted the dimensions and properties of your sections in a steel table, I have added one diagram from your steel table here for your reference. See here, I have added ISA 75 by 75 of 6 mm thickness. Why? What does ISA stands for? ISA stands for Indian Standard Angle Section. Indian Standard Angle Section of leg length 75 by 75 and of thickness 6 mm. That's what we used in our designing. Yes, in question they have mentioned us use two angle of 75 by 75 by 6 mm dimension. So I am enlisting all the properties which IS table has given us. IS table first give us diagram. Okay, IS table gives us diagram. Now you must remember this angle, which is ISA 75 by 75 is mentioned into 6, is mentioned in your steel table along with the diagram, and it is found under equal length angle. It is found under what? Equal length angle. Now what we want from the steel table? See, the very important thing to calculate TDG is finding AG into Fy divided by gamma m naught. Gamma m naught we know 1.10. Fy we know 250. Then what is AG? Instead of calculating AG, you can simply open your steel table and go to the properties of that section. The properties tell us that sectional area, which is the gross area of that section, is 8.66 centimeter square. It is 8.66 centimeter square. You can use it as your gross area, and as it is given in centimeter square, you have to convert it into mm square. What will be the dimension in mm square? What will be the area in mm square? It will be, you can see here, yes, now we are solving our question, and the area in mm will be 866 mm square for single angle, right? But we are using two angles, right? Two angles of 75 by 75 by 6 mm thickness, and as we are using two angles, we need to multiply. See, 250 for Fy, AG will be 866, which we used from steel table, and gamma m0 will be 1.10. Then why this 2 extra term comes into, extra number comes in your calculation? I have explanation for it. This 2 is particularly used for double angle. When you are using two angles, you must calculate TDG for two angles. But whatever gross area you have wrote is for single angle. So to calculate gross area of two angles, two angle of dimension 75 by 75 by 6 mm, you have to multiply 2 in this formula. And once you put all these values in your calculator, you will get answer of TDG, the very first mode of failure named as yielding of gross section. TDG value will be 393.64 kilonewton. Okay, so our first mode of failure is over here. Now next we can discuss the design strength governed by tearing at net section. This is our second mode of failure, in which we will calculate TDN. Okay, now you must be thinking, ma'am, why we are using this new formula? I have already told you in IS code on page number 32. You have two formulas for TDN. You have two formulas for TDN. TDN has two formulas. First formula consists of beta and second formula consists of alpha. You can use either of one or either of the formula mentioned in your IS code. You can choose to go with the first formula, or you can alternately use second formula mentioned in your IS code. So far I have discussed all the problems with the first formula. I am taking this alternative formula for solving this problem. Okay, so please use your IS code whenever you are attending my lectures, and please try to open and recollect the things from your IS code. Now, to calculate alpha, alpha is mentioned in your IS code and its value is in range, and you have to select that particular value from that range, which value is exactly goes with your problem. For that, they have mentioned a one rule over there in your IS code, and that rule which is mentioned in your IS code says that if alpha is 0.6, if you are choosing alpha value 0.6 for 1 or 2 bolts, if you have 1 or 2 bolts in your connections, then you will choose alpha value as a 0.6. Alpha value will be as a 0.6. Then if the bolts are 3, then you should take it as a 0.7. Whereas if bolts are more than 4, if bolts are more than 4 numbers, then you should take alpha value as a 0.8. So I have assumed, see here, I have wrote that assume a single line of 4 number of 20 mm dia bolts. That I am assuming that I may require 4 numbers of bolts in a one single row, and that's why my alpha value is 0.8. That's why my alpha value is 0.8. This rule and this formula is mentioned on page number 33 of your IS code. Please go through your IS code. Now, here we required a net area. Alpha is with us, Fu we know, gamma m1 we know. The only unknown term remains is calculating An, or net area of your given member. To calculate net area, see here, I have calculation for you. You have connected angles back to back, one on either side, and you have to calculate net area of this connection. That what will be the area of these two angles? They combinedly what area gives us? That net area we have to calculate. How to calculate that? You already know net area is the area from which we reduce the dia of holes. That area is get reduced from the gross area. Okay. So let's start with this hatched red portion of an angle. We will discuss the area of that angle first, which is of having dimension 75. Okay, so this is 75. This 75 minus 6 by 2. Why I am doing 6 by 2? Because I am considering till this. Okay, then minus 22. What is minus 22? Minus 22 is bolt hole, the hole required for that connection. So I am considering this leg, standing leg or connected leg first. In this connected leg, the 75 is dimension, right? 75 into minus, up to this we are using it, therefore 6 by 2. How the 6 by 2 comes? This thickness divided by 2. The thickness at this joint is half considered in one leg and half considered in another leg. What I am saying, you must remember, the thickness of at this joint is half considered in connected angle or connected leg and half considered in outstanding leg. And that's why 75 is a total length. Is a total length up to what? Up to this. From this point to this point. Okay, but some of its region is covered here by outstanding leg also, and that's why whatever thickness is here at this joint is halfly considered in connected leg and halfly considered in the outstanding leg. Now let's focus on our net area. In the net area, we have this connected leg with a bolt. Okay, so connected leg is of 75 minus 6 by 2 is its half thickness which we consider, and then minus 22 which is the bolt which is the hole for the bolt. Okay, this is what our one leg into thickness, into what thickness. Okay, we are calculating cross sectional area, cross sectional area will be length into thickness, right? Length we have taken by reducing the whole dia as well as up to this region, and we are multiplying it with the thickness. So this is length into thickness of connected leg. Now we want adding with it, we want length into thickness of outstanding leg. For outstanding leg, it is quite simple. It is 75 minus 6 by 2 into thickness 6. Okay. Now you must be wondering why I have added 2 at the end of this calculation, because you should always remember that we are using 2 angles. We calculated for this hashed region, but what about this other side? And to calculate that, we have to add 2 at the end. You must thinking that how exactly the same, because see, whatever angle we are using is of 75 by 75 by 6, which is of same dimension and connected with the same number of bolts. Okay, therefore the area, net area of other angle will be also remain same. If you calculate with your calc, you get net area value as 1464 mm square. Okay, put that value in your TDN formula. TDN formula stands for alpha into Fu into An divided by gamma m1. Okay, put the all values in that formula. You will get TDN as 364.15 kilonewton. So far we have discussed what is TDG value and what is TDN value. Two of the tensile capacities, one is yielding, second one is in second one is in net rupture. One is in yielding, second one is in rupture we have with us. Now we are moving towards designing of bolts. Okay, because see, in in the block shear failure we required exact number of bolts for the calculation, and therefore first we will design a bolts and then we will move towards the second part or remaining part of this calculation, which is block shear failure. Okay, now design of bolts consists of shear capacity of that bolt or tensile capacity of bolt. See, whenever I am saying I am connecting these two plates with one bolt inside it, that bolt, this hashed region, that bolt should has its own capacity to resist this shear force. If I apply a tensile force on these plates, this bolt will experience shear force. Okay, one plate is moving in this direction, another plate is moving in this direction. Therefore, at the face of joint or at the face of connection, this bolt will experience shear force, right? And if it is experiencing shear force, what measures you have to take? See, if it is experiencing shear force, the bolt should have some capacity to resist that shear, And what that bolt has a capacity, because each of the bolt of certain dimensions carry certain abilities to resist the external force. And when I am saying I am using M20 bolt, then this bolt dia of 20 mm has certain capacity to resist the tensile force, to resist the shear force. And how to calculate that, how to find the capacity of bolt, that part I am gonna teach you in next lecture. For right now you focus how to design a bolts or how to find number of bolts. So I hope you understood that bolt has their own capacity on the basis of its diameter and grade. I am saying if I am using M20 bolt of dia 20 mm and its grade is 4.6. Similarly, as you have a grades for steel, right? You have grades for bolts also, right? And if I am saying I am using M20 or a 20 dia bolt of a grade 4.6, then it has its own capacity of resistance, and that capacity, finding that capacity is a whole different part that we are gonna learn in a next lecture. Okay, right now see here how to design a bolt. Choose a edge distance. Okay, I have chosen a edge distance as 35 mm. Now you are wondering in your mind why I have chosen 35 mm, because minimum amount of or minimum distance of edge distance is 35 mm. At least you have to provide 35 mm of edge distance while designing any section. So I choose that minimum distance as a 35 mm. Now the capacity of bolts in double shear. Now why I am saying double shear, and what is double shear is that I have cleared in previous session also, that if you are connecting bolt within these two plates, then that bolt is experiencing shear force. That bolt is experiencing shear force at this face, right? And that shear force is in one plane only, is at one plane only, where then we call it as a single shear. But if I am connecting bolt within this arrangement where three plates are connected with a single bolt, then this bolt is experiencing shear force at these two faces, 1 and 2, and then we will call it as a double shear. Now in our arrangement of our angles, we have gusset plate at the middle, and you have connected angles on the other side. We have connected angles on the each side. You have bolt at its place. Okay, now you can see at this bolt it is experiencing shear force at this face and this face. It means that our bolt is under double shear. Our bolt is under double shear. But what if I am saying that your angle is connected to the gusset plate, only single angle to the gusset plate with a bolt, then bolt is experiencing only shear force at one face, and then we will call it as a single shear. Now edge distance is clear to you. Double shear, what is single shear is clear to you. And what this 45.3 is, this 45.3 is the shear capacity, is the 45.3 is the shear capacity of a bolt. As I said, bolt has their own capacity of resistance, and if I am taking M20 bolt of grade 4.6, the shear capacity of that bolt will be 45.3. You should not mug up this. We have formulas to calculate the capacity of bolt, and that I am gonna teach you in a next class. So remember this. For right now, you remember this as a shear capacity of a M20 bolt of diameter 20 mm and grade of 4.6. And it is a shear capacity of single bolt, and we are single shear. It is shear capacity in a single shear. Okay, so if double shear is occur, what will be a shear capacity? 45.3 into 2. Okay, so 90.6 kilonewton. Then I said provide 5 bolts. Okay, why I am using 5 bolts? Because see, if 90 into 5 I did, if I using a 1 bolt of 90.6 kilonewton double shear capacity, and if I used such a 5 bolts, what will be a total strength of bolts? Total strength of bolt will be 453 kilonewton, which is much greater than 384.15 kilonewton. What is this? This is your rupture capacity. This is your rupture tensile strength. In net rupture, when you apply a tensile force in a net rupture, at what force it will occur? Net rupture will occur at 384.15 kilonewton, and net rupture occurs on what? Of course, on the holes. Near the holes, the rupture will occur, right? And that's why the bolt strength, how many number of bolts you use, is depends on the strength greater than the net rupture strength. Okay, if net rupture occurs at 384.15 kilonewton, you should place a number of bolts which will give more strength, than the rupture failure. I hope it is clear. So now we are using M20 grade of 5 number of bolts for our connection. What is minimum spacing? Minimum spacing will be 2.5 into thickness, which is 2.5 into 20, gives us 50 mm. Now provide a spacing of 50 mm. What will be a pitch now? 50 mm. Now last part of our session will be check for block shear. Okay, in the check for block shear, what we do? We calculate net area, gross area, net area in shear and gross area in shear, right? So let's find one by one. The formulas are with you in your IS code on page number 33, and we will now focus on calculating areas. As I said, we are using 5 number of bolts. Okay, 5 number of bolts, and the pitch distance of these bolts will be 50 mm. Therefore, this 1, 2, 3 and 4 gaps are of 50 mm, and edge distance we choose are of 35 mm. Okay, now calculating AVG. What is AVG? AVG is a gross area in shear. Gross area in shear will be calculated which face is experiencing shear. That you must remember that first, and you should find that face. So if you are applying tensile force like this, then this will be your face where shear force occur, right? And at this face, what will be a length? Length will be 4 into 50 plus 35. See here, this face will fail like this. Why it will not fail in a downward direction? Because you have a leg on the downward side. The angle is like this, right? Angle is like this. So if you have placed bolts like this, this will be a shortest path on which the angle will fail due to block shear. It cannot rupture down like this because here you have 75 length to resist, but here you have very less length to resist and rupture occurs in upward direction. Now here you have rupture failure like this, and what will be a length of this rupture? The 4 into 50 plus 35 into what? Thickness. Thickness will be 6 mm. Now AVN. What is AVN? Net area in shear. How to calculate net area? You should reduce a area of hole. What will be a area of hole? Area of hole will be how many holes are coming into the shear force. How many holes are coming into shear force? Half of the last bolt and all other 4 bolts. So half of the last bolt will be 0.5 and all other 4 bolts. It is total 4.5. Okay, therefore 4.5 into 22, I am reducing it from the gross area into thickness will give you a net area in shear. Now ATN. What does ATN stands for? ATN is a net area in tension. Before calculating ATN, we will calculate ATG. ATG will be a gross area in tension. What will be a gross area in tension? This face is experiencing tension and this face is got yield, because if you are applying a force like this area is yielding, and that area, the length into thickness will give us. The length of that area is 35 and thickness will be 6, whereas net area will be calculating this length into reducing the half of this bolt. Therefore 35 minus half 22 divided by 2 into 6 will give you a net area in yielding, okay, or net area in tension. Put the all values in your calculations and you will get TDB 1 value as 227 and TDB 2 as 186.8 kilonewton. These two values will give you a single angle section is for single angle section. Okay, the before this, out of this two value which you should consider, whichever is smaller. So I have chosen this as a 1.8. So ultimately becomes block shear failure tensile capacity will be 86.8 kilonewton. Okay, and but throughout this calculation we have not considered the second angle because we calculated for single angle section. So hence block shear strength for double angle section will be twice of 186.8 kilonewton. Okay, that will be a 373.6 kilonewton. Now finally, what is the tensile capacity? The tensile capacity will be least of TDG, TDN and TDB. What is tensile capacity? A least of TDG, TDN and TDB, and least value we got is 373.6 kilonewton. Okay, so here your first part of your calculation ends. In the next session we will calculate tensile capacity if we connect the both of the angles on same side of your gusset plate. This is your gusset plate, and if we connect the both angles on same side, the tensile capacity will remain same, or will it increase or will it decrease? That we gonna discuss in the next part. Thank you.